Welcome to another episode of the Global Green Action Project, a place where we get to meet amazing heroes doing great changes in the world to make it a more compassionate, kinder place through humanitarian, animal, and environmental initiatives. I'm your host, Jennifer, and today our guest is Maryann Harman. She is an educator, international speaker, trainer, and professional musician who's won many awards. Our topic today is how we can introduce music into the educational system to empower children so they can be advocates to help heal the world in the most amazing ways. So, welcome, Maryann Harman. We're so excited to have you here today. How about we dig right into it and learn a little bit more about your expertise and how these wonderful skills that you have to share with us can support our youth, our global family, and our world in the most amazing ways.
Thank you. It makes me feel like I'm actually making a difference in the world, one little starfish at a time, right? I'm Maryann Harman from Music with Mare, and I just love finding ways that music helps children, people, the world in general. And I started my very first CD with a song about looking for a manatee, for being aware that children should be aware of the environment, the animals life in it, the plant life in it, everything, being aware of that they are a part of it. So I live in Florida now, and manatees and their starting to become smaller and smaller population is a big issue and hard to find these animals. And so there's been a really big push to take care of the manatees. And one of the reasons this can happen is when we make children feel attached to these things, that it becomes personal when there's a book out about a manatee, or when there's a manatee at the local zoo. Where they can go and see it, or even someplace where it can be taken care of, but not so contained. So when people ask me about how you ever work with the global and green issues, and I always say, my mascot is green. Mr. Froggy has always been green. I didn't need a movement to happen. He just was always there. So I wrote a song about looking for a manatee, and then I got a call from Lowry Park Zoo that happened to have a manatee exhibit, and they asked me if I would come sit in front of the manatee exhibit for 3 hours and just keep singing my song. So I did, and just exposing children to the idea of taking care of our animals. And when you use music, you are using more parts of the brain. So I can say to children, no, manatees are endangered and we need to take care of them. Or I can say, I'm looking for a manatee. It is getting harder for me. I looked in the sea, I looked in the bay, and this gets children going, yeah, looking for a manatee. And because we're putting it in more parts of the brain, that child will go home and say to the parents, we learned about manatees today, and find out what the parents know, and hopefully they don't have parents go, yeah, endangered, right? But, so you need to get in the kids' heads, because some parents haven't completely bought into some of the stuff that is important kids to learn. So I'm not saying discounting the parents, so please don't misinterpret that. All I'm saying is sometimes parents are so busy and caught up, they might not even realize that the manatees were endangered. So when the child comes home, it opens a dialogue, a discussion, and maybe they'll research it. So while doing that song, I went to research, well, what else is endangered in Florida? It's a Florida song. And our panthers, the Florida panthers, also endangered, and the eagles. We had a large eagle population, and it was going down. So I was singing, and then I made it a call and response song. Call and response songs are good because they hear you say it, and then they have to repeat it. And there's a thing about how you remember 5% of what you hear, 10% of what you say, 15% of what you hear and say. So then you add music to it and they remember it even better. So call and response makes that happen. So I would say, I'm looking for a panther. And the kids would have to say, I'm looking for a panther in FLA. I can't find, I'm looking for an eagle in the sky. I can't see one flying by. Right? And then at the end of the song, I'm learning to take good care of every animal everywhere on the land and in the sea, because animals are part of humanity. So at the end of the song, they take a pledge that they are going to help take care of these animals. Little things like that, the more people you can touch, the more children that have the message, the more times they can hear it as part of a song, it just makes the message stronger and more remembered. So when I would work with children, we would talk about songs for different occasions, and the kids were like, Miss Mayor, it's Earth Day. And I was like, huh. They go, do you have an Earth Day song? And I went, no, I don't. And they're like, oh. And I go, but I am going to have one because you're going to help me. And so we sat down and brainstormed. Now, when I say we, I mean a bunch of 5-year-olds and me, who was pretty much on their level at that time. And I said, all right, what are we going to do? And they said, well, whenever you have to clean up, throw it in the can. So we can it. And I said, okay. And so when we can it, what's happened? They go, save the planet. So we wrote, can it, save the planet. And we talked about different ways that this could happen. So this is up on my YouTube channel. I'd love for you to subscribe, Music with Maryann YouTube. And it has visuals so that children can see it. Also, because music's so holistic, they're learning the song and they're learning about recycling and green, but they are also seeing the words with pictures, so it helps for reading skills as well. So Can It Save the Planet was a song we did where the kids talk to me about things that sometimes get thrown out, like when they eat a popsicle, they'll just drop the stick on the ground. And do you do that? What can you do? What can you recycle? So they came up with the garbage can and the recycling bin. It's children singing it, not me, because it was their message to teach. And that makes it even more valuable. See, if I say to the kids, okay, I'm going to write a song, thank you for your help, I'm going to sing it now, then it's mine. But if I say, now you're going to sing it and I'm going to put it on the CD, they're like, we taught people that lesson. And that makes the lesson even more valuable because now they are the teacher. They are the ones that learn that information and know how to share it with others. We were also working on sign language. So when you sign planet, basically same word as world, and this is W in sign language. So when you go like this, it's world. So they wanted to pretend there was a can. It goes, can it save the planet? My daughter sang that part, don't throw garbage anywhere. And the Disney Channel was using that for ads for Earth Day. And so we're on our way to school one morning and it came on the radio. And my daughter, I'm like, ah! And they happened to pick the line my daughter sang as a solo. And we were like, you're on the radio, and so, it was such a good thing for both of us. But, I made more of a big deal for my daughter. She was so excited. The kids had a lot of fun with that song and they performed it at a school function where they acted it out, and so it becomes more of a lesson. You put more into it. Before the end of the 7th year of life, that child's value system is in place. So you need to put those things that are important in there before the end of the 7th year of life. So it becomes part of who they are. We do this through books, we do this through song, we do this through messages. And it's not just, like the environmental, the care about the taking garbage off the street or caring for our animals, but it's also about caring for one another and all of that global awareness that we're not all, at baseball games eating hot dogs all over the world. Not everybody does that. So, for global awareness, we need to first become aware ourselves as teachers, as parents, so that we can teach children to be aware. There's a wonderful saying that I display at my workshops, and I put it up on my PowerPoint, and I love this. It is just as important to the child to teach a child not to step on a caterpillar is just as important to the child as it is to the caterpillar. When I was younger, caterpillars would just fall out of trees. And I can remember we used to run around and stomp on them. And no one thought anything of it. And I thought nothing of it. In today's world, it makes me feel sick to my stomach to think that I did that. But we weren't as conscious of those things years ago. Now we're conscious of it. Now we know you don't teach children to do those kind of things, because that then translates into being comfortable with doing harm to living things. So we can sing songs about that too, with respecting our animals. I'm in the process of writing a song right now, a remake of How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? And instead of how much, but can we adopt that doggy in the window? So instead of going out and buying a dog, can we adopt it? And these are things that are becoming more and more part of who we are. And I love it. I do believe that some people take things to extremes and either way, and I don't like that either, but I think this kind of middle of the road is really good.